Live across the country, tackling the topics everyone is talking about online. Share, engage, and interact. This is Newsfeed Now.
Good Thursday morning, or as I like to call it, Friday, Junior, and welcome to Newsfeed Now. I'm your host, Hillary Hunt. Today's top trending stories obviously include that we're learning more about the accused killer, the one who was involved at that Boulder grocery store mass shooting. And what about the latest response from our nation's capital on that surge of migrants at the southern border? And then we've got a good one to end the show, how a man reconnected a family with some lost memories. But obviously we want to start with Boulder, Colorado. This just coming down moments ago that the 21-year-old suspect in Monday's mass shooting at that Colorado supermarket, he made his first court appearance, and we're just now told he's going to be held without bond. Ahmad Alyssa faces 10 counts of murder and an attempted murder charge as well. The district attorney said the attempted first-degree murder charge is due to Alyssa's allegedly trying to kill a second Boulder police officer. We're still learning new details about him, but Lori Jane Galiha has more on the suspect's past.
In 2017, high school senior Ahmad Alyssa told detectives the fellow student he punched in the head and left bloodied and bruised had bullied him for months. The problem solvers obtained the police report in which Alyssa told investigators the boy had called him a terrorist and a sand N-word. Alyssa, whose former classmates said his family moved here from Syria, told police he couldn't take it anymore, so he blacked out and rushed the kid. Witnesses described Alyssa as having a look of pure anger on his face and said he appeared furious as he continuously punched the other teen, and his eye was partially swollen shut.
I'd never really pegged him as a violent person. The only time I ever saw him get upset was when someone would, bring race into it.
People who knew Alyssa said they knew of the bullying.
This guy in particular, I know, liked to target minorities.
But the victim said he didn't know why Alyssa struck him because they used to be friends. The boy said Alyssa just came up behind him and just punched him without saying anything. But Alyssa also reported that the boy had posted a video of him on Snapchat and also called him a nerd.
And the family of the other student named Alex released a statement after the mass shooting on that 2017 incident that we just mentioned in that story, saying, quote, "Our hearts go out to the victims, their families, and the community of the senseless domestic attack in Boulder." While the community searches for answers to why and how the family of Alex, the victim of an assault by Alyssa in 2017, wishes to clear the record. As a collaborated by police and investigators and independent investigations, they're consisting of over 30 interviews from witnesses regarding the assault in which Alyssa was convicted. Alex never bullied Alyssa or used any racial slur. The attack was unprovoked. Alyssa pleaded guilty to third-degree assault, and we stand by that conviction. Moving now to our nation's capital, where President Joe Biden has appointed Vice President Kamala Harris to oversee the administration's response to the surge of migrants at our southern borders. That decision comes as Republicans for weeks now have been slamming the president for welcoming immigrants into the U.S., which they say overwhelmed our system. Here's Raquel Martin.
There's no question that this is a challenging situation.
Vice President Kamala Harris says she's ready to get to work with Mexico and other Central American countries to address the surge of migrants at the southern border.
The most qualified person to do it.
Wednesday, President Biden tasked Harris with overseeing the administration's immigration response. The White House says Harris will focus on addressing the root causes of the spike.
To strengthen democracy and the rule of law.
The White House also, for the first time Wednesday, allowed a media camera inside a border facility holding hundreds of unaccompanied minors. The move comes amid growing backlash from Republicans, who accused the president of hiding conditions inside.
Joe Biden desperately does not want you to see the Biden cages.
On Twitter, Senator Ted Cruz said the new footage is not representative of all border facilities currently holding minors, and called on the administration to allow media inside the Donna facility, which he says is forcing kids to sleep on the floor and go hungry.
And this crisis is unfolding and getting worse and worse and worse by the day.
Cruz and 17 other Senate Republicans are demanding the media be allowed to attend their border trip Friday. Wednesday, a group of Democrats attended the tour of the border facility documented by press. New York Congressman Adriana Espaillat says conditions are better than under the Trump administration, but
much more needs to be done.
And the White House contends that it is limiting access to facilities to keep reporters and children safe during the pandemic and are opening more facilities to combat the growing crowds. Biden will hold his first press conference since taking office, and so we expect to hear more about the administration's immigration response later today, and we'll keep you up to date on that. And a suburb of Chicago is making history authorizing payments to black families for generations of discrimination. The Evanston City Council approved the plan late Monday night and is moving forward to send those payments. This is the first time any government has taken this kind of action, and some say it could become a national model. Ashley Katz has the details.
On a 8-1 vote.
A historic decision by Evanston City Council to begin making amends for generations of discrimination.
This is the first 4% of the 10 million. It is an important but a small first step.
The reparations linked to the city's history of housing discrimination. Going back to the early 1900s, black residents were often the victims of redlining, a practice in which banks refused to give them mortgages.
It advised banks and real estate agents to devalue those areas and not invest in those areas.
As a result, black families were relegated to renting in neighborhoods lacking basic services and choked off from economic opportunities. Neighborhoods that would eventually become Evanston's 5th Ward. Residents who can show they were impacted by the discrimination could get $25,000 to use toward housing, such as buying or upgrading a home. All funding using tax revenue from recreational marijuana. The only opposition came from those saying the payments are too small.
To start at such a low amount is a disservice to the community.
When one is building a house, one does not build a kitchen and then say we will add other rooms as we figure out what kind of home we're going to build.
But those supporting the plan saying it's at least a move in the right direction.
And I just want to remind us that the wisdom of the ages says that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
And we want to stay in Chicago this morning, where the city has cut off vaccine supply to a local clinic after officials claim it misallocated more than 6,000 doses that were actually meant for Chicago public school staff. Aaron Rutledge spoke with the CEO of the clinic, who claims the city wasn't actually clear when they gave him instructions.
The deal on the surface seems simple enough. Chicago would deliver COVID-19 vaccine to Innovative Care Express, and it would deliver the vaccine into the arms of CPS staff members. Just a week ago, CPS CEO Janice Jackson and Innovative Care Express CEO Dr. Raul Kari shared a stage together. He spent the last 24 hours responding to accusations his company didn't fully live up to its end of the deal.
We never departed from the commitment to CPS employees nor other qualified individuals.
The Chicago Department of Public Health, however, says thousands of doses ended up going to non-CPS staff members. CDPH announced yesterday it had cut off vaccine supply to IEC in a statement that reads in part, quote, "Based on CDPH's review of IEC's vaccine allocations and administration, we have determined that they knowingly misallocated more than 6,000 doses of vaccine, including using vaccine allocated for second doses for first dose appointments instead. This is completely unacceptable behavior." The CEO of IEC says there was a breakdown in communication with the city, and the company didn't know they were supposed to be saving more than half of their allotment for second doses.
CDPH officials never made it clear to us as a provider that we should be storing vaccines in a refrigerator for people awaiting second doses. This makes no sense to us.
IEC also says all CPS staff were given the opportunity to get vaccinated, but vaccine hesitancy led to extra doses each week. IEC used the vaccine meant for CPS to vaccinate others eligible under city and state guidelines.
Effective vaccine distribution should be modeled, not penalized.
Moving to the south, this is a story that definitely caught my attention on social media. Maybe yours too, maybe you shared it. A woman in Florida who was reported missing just 3 weeks ago was found alive inside of a storm sewer in Delray Beach. Listen to this.
911, do you have an emergency?
Hi, yes, there's a lady stuck in a sewer.
Unreal. The 43-year-old was found naked and told police she went for a swim in a canal and found a tunnel, and says she got lost in that sewer system. Police do say that this woman has a history of mental illness and drug use, but they are working to verify her story. And before we get to this next story, we do want to just warn you, it could be disturbing to some viewers. The power of a wild black bear was witnessed Tuesday near the Great Smoky Mountains National Park as it took down a wild hog for a meal right off of the highway. Look at this video if you care to. Philip Talbot shared this video with our sister station in Knoxville, Tennessee. He shot it in Gatlinburg. No surprise there, a lot of bears there. He says the encounter happened off of Highway 321. We're choosing not to show you some of the video because it can be really grisly. As you can imagine, that's a really big bear. But after several minutes, a black bear comes out on top. Some reminders from Tennessee Wildlife. Guys, you got to be bear wise. I know they look cool, but bears are extremely strong and they're very unpredictable. Don't feed them. They're not in the zoo. Don't ever approach them either. But here's a different sighting of a black bear that we want to show you to kind of make you feel a little bit better. This one's looking for a good time in a hot tub. This is also in Tennessee. Another person vacationing in Gatlinburg. I'm telling you, these bears are everywhere there if you've ever been. Tom Trudeau witnessed this black bear hop into the hot tub. Check him out. You know, he just wanted to hang out. He's got a nice view too. So he's just enjoying the hot tub. But guys, don't try to get in the hot tub with him or approach him. But before we go, antiquing sometimes can be a walk through the past, and sometimes you stumble upon some secret treasures, and a Green Bay man did just that. Then he decided to go one step further. He said, I'm going to connect it back to the people who this really means the most to. Here's Aaron Taylor.
Because I like history and I thought the photos were interesting.
There are a lot of unique finds here at Ralph's Antiques, and among them, a Green Bay man found a family's lost memories.
I believe the photos were taken around or during World War II, and they show all different parts of the world, everywhere from Scotland all the way to India. Places like Italy and France.
The photos appear to show a young man's journey across the globe while serving in World War II.
Places that he went, people that he met. It looks like there's some family photos in there. I just had the idea that they probably meant something to someone.
He paid $5 for the collection and wasted no time posting them online.
I figured that he probably had some family who was still around here.
Within 24 hours, Jarrett had an answer. His post had found its way to Tina Musial in Two Rivers.
She sent it to me and said, Is this Uncle Bill?
A birth certificate included in the photo collection confirmed that the mystery man was William Randerson, or to Tina, Uncle Bill.
He had a great heart and had a wonderful sense of humor. He would always keep us laughing.
Bill was in the Air Force and never married, but Tina says he was close to her family. He passed away in 2008. He had a brother, Tina's father, and a sister.
This is like kind of bringing back just kind of the heart of the family, because none of them are around anymore. So it's just kind of stirs up all the good feelings of the three of them.
They're not sure how the photos and documents ended up at Ralph's Antiques, but Tina says they're glad Jarrett found them.
All these things sitting in a box at an antique store that were my uncle's and are coming back home now. So we're really just thanking God for the wonderful connection.
A connection from Green Bay to Two Rivers, and from the past to the present.
And I think it's really important for people to have their history so that they can pass those stories down.
In Green Bay, Aaron Taylor, Local 5 News.
To hold on to that history, we want to bring in Aaron Taylor, who did that story out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And Aaron, the power of social media. He thought right away, I'm going to go on social media, I'm going to post this, and it made it to the right person.
Yes, within less than 24 hours, he was actually able to match those pictures to the family that actually still live in the area. They're about 45 minutes away. So it didn't take very long to make that connection.
And you know, when he went on to talk about this, I'm sure he was just at the store going through things and he picked this up. You know, why did he pick it up? Did he tell you?
Yeah, he said he was actually Ralph's Antiques, this antique store in Green Bay. They were having a sale. He decided to go check it out. He found some vintage coins that he wanted to purchase. And when he was checking out by the cashier, he saw this box that had all of these old pictures. And when he started looking through the pictures, he noticed that it seemed to kind of tell this show this journey of this young man traveling the globe during World War II as part of the military. And he just thought that the family who, the people who were related to that man might want to see these pictures, that these pictures would mean something to him. So he asked the clerk how much the pictures were, $5. That sounded like a great deal, so he bought them, and the rest is history.
Yeah, $5 saving some memories, and I know you talked to Tina too. How did it make her family feel to know that they have these memories again that they probably didn't even know went missing?
Yeah, Tina's Uncle Bill passed away in 2008, and he was her father's brother, and her father and her aunt are also both gone now. So she said that talking about this and getting these pictures, it's kind of like bringing all of them back in a way, because they haven't talked about them in so long because they're not here. So she said it was just really kind of a beautiful thing to be able to bring back those memories.
I love that. Erin Taylor out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Erin, thanks so much. Love that a stranger just held on to those memories and made sure to get them back to the right person. Great stuff there. That's going to do it for this edition of Newsfeed Now on this Friday, Junior. I hope you guys join us right back here tomorrow to start your weekend off right. We're going to be talking about all those top trending stories. And remember, if you see one that you think is cool, tweet me. We'll be back here tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.